I want a funk. I want a funk. I want a F-F-U-F-U-N-K. Hello, friends, family, and people who have clicked on this video by accident. Welcome to this week's episode of Kylie Retrospectives with me, ElliXia Valentine, Malvern's answer to Javine Hilton. In this series, we're reviewing all of Kylie's previous albums in the lead up to her new album, Disco, which, at the time of recording, is released on the 6th of November. In my previous videos, I covered Enjoy Yourself and Kylie, and now we are on to album number 3, Rhythm of Love. And this, ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, is where things start to really get good. Today's look I'm sort of inspired by how the album's general vibe is a bit sexier than it was before, but it's still quite girly and it's still quite youthful. It's kind of that mix of sweet girly girl and slag, really. I've even done my nails today as well. You're welcome. So without further ado, let's get started. Rhythm of Love was released on the 12th of November 1990, the same day as Madonna's Immaculate Collection in the UK. This album reached number 9 in the charts, and it wasn't as successful as the two that came before it, but it still did very well, and it was still a very beneficial album to Kylie's career. We had 4 singles from Rhythm of Love: Better the Devil You Know, Step Back in Time, What Do I Have to Do, and Shocked, in brackets DNA Mix, featuring Jazzy P. The Jazzy P. And that string of singles is widely regarded by a lot of fans to be one of her best strings of singles ever. And I'm inclined to agree. I mean, I could end the video right now just by saying Better the Devil You Know. But of course, what's the point of that? This album is an important album in her career because it's when she started to take control and she started to grow up. You may recall in my previous video that I said the album Kylie was a girl doing her GCSEs, Enjoy Yourself is that girl doing her A-levels, and then Rhythm of Love is that girl who has now gone to uni and is very much discovering herself. She probably loses her virginity. Just gonna put that out there. Rhythm of Love is an important album in Kylie's career because it ushered in a new era for her. A new era where she was more refined, more stylish, and a lot less cheesy. Not entirely devoid of cheese. I mean, it's Kylie, why would it be? It's quite common for a lot of young female pop stars when it gets to this stage in their career where they start to develop more and where they start to like cast off their innocent image. You have like Britney with Slow For You, Miley with Bangers, Janet Jackson with Control, Rihanna with Good Girl Gone Bad, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Christina Aguilera with Stripped. Sooner or later, these kind of pop girls who are portrayed as your innocent, family-friendly, girl next door Disney character types, they discover their sexuality, they start to get a lot more provocative in their music videos, they start to sing about a lot more mature themes, and they're definitely trying to cast away that image of the innocent girl, and they're trying to show you that they've grown up. They release what we know as a coming-of-age album. They don't become a little bit of a slag. They become a total slag. And I'm here for it. I love it, personally. Kylie's coming-of-age isn't quite as strong or as extreme as the aforementioned girls. And especially by today's standards, I think what might have been considered shocking for this era wouldn't really be considered shocking now. I mean, she cheated on Jason Donovan. If that's not iconic, then what is? She started dating Michael Hutchence from ElliXia's, God rest his soul. And he played quite a pivotal part, I think, in Kylie's shift in image. Now Kylie was wearing a lot more revealing outfits. She had more love interests in her music videos. Kylie had gone from your girl next door to pop star. But of course, what about the actual music itself? That's what we're here for, right? Well, you're in for a treat because this is where things just become chef's kiss. If I could sum up the general vibe of Rhythm of Love in one word, it would be yes. Opening the album, we have Better the Devil You Know. And honestly, I think I could just leave it there. Better the Devil You Know is a solid gold pop banger. It is a classic. It's a tour staple for Kylie. It's a song that pretty much everyone knows. It goes off. If I ever hear it in a club, I like ascend to the heavens. It's amazing. It's such a good, danceable song. Now I believe if I was 20 years older and therefore 18 in 1990, you know, I probably wouldn't have actually liked Kylie that much up to this point. I probably would have found her previous albums a bit too cheesy. I probably would have been like, oh no, I'm too credible for that, you know, being a teenager. I feel like 18-year-old me would have been sold on Better the Devil You Know. In fact, actually, 18-year-old me was sold on Better the Devil You Know because 18-year-old me was the one that got into Kylie. I can imagine just being a teenager in 1990 and hearing Better the Devil You Know and having it be like a gay awakening. Like that epiphany moment of like, wow. Yes. Better the Devil You Know is a classic. What's actually a great thing about Better the Devil You Know is it's actually very dark. Nick Cave commented on this, and that was what drove him to collaborate with Kylie years later, was how the lyrics are actually very, very dark. They're just masked in this really happy sounding, you know, pop song. People of my age may better know Better the Devil You Know for the Steps version, but I'm sorry, Kylie's version is superior. End of discussion. When you start the album off with such a huge banger, where do we go from here? Next up we have Step Back in Time, which is another bop and a half, to the point where it is even the name of her recent Greatest Hits album. I know, Greatest Hits albums, they still exist. Step Back in Time is such a fun, funky bop that I think doesn't take itself too seriously. A song like Step Back in Time actually would be very popular now because nostalgia is such a huge seller. In a way, it's a song that's always relevant because we love nostalgia, we love music from our youth, and a lot of us look back on music from our youth and think, oh, it's so much better than what it is now. Love the music video. The video reminds me a little bit of Delight's Groove Is in the Heart from the same year, and I love Delight as well. Very huge influence on me. That's another video entirely though. Next up, we have What Do I Have to Do, the album's third single and planned second single. What Do I Have to Do is a sultry, slinky, sexy number where Kylie is contemplating, how do I get this man's attention? Relatable. You know, and Kylie is definitely a bit steamier in this song, even in the music video. The music video caused a bit of controversy even because of it, although by today's standard it's not controversial at all. Kylie even, scandalous, has a line about having a man in her bed. Excuse me. Excuse me one moment. Hello, is that Ofcom? Hi, it's me, ElliXia. Yeah, I would like to report a very scandalous and inappropriate song from 1990, please. Thank you. It's just funny to me to think that What Do I Have to Do was a bit controversial at the time for being more provocative when, like, it really isn't. I mean, in this age where, like, one of the most popular songs at the moment is WAP, it's nothing compared to that. So many other considerably more sexual videos have come since. What Do I Have to Do is so tame in comparison. I mean, even compared to what Kylie's done since. But it was the 90s, I guess. Different time. And then the last single from the album is Shocked, which had a remix for its single release called the DNA remix. Shocked is also a really good track as well. Shocked is another video where she's shown a bit more sexual. At one point she's wearing like a pink and fluffy rah-rah skirt with no top. And she's like making eyes with her chauffeur, who is a lady as well, so it's a bit like, ooh, you know. And Shocked has, of course, the iconic rap from rap legend Jazzy P. Yes, the Jazzy P. Have I already made that joke? Fun fact, Jazzy P actually competed on Big Brother in 2014. Yeah, Shocked is also just a really good song. You know, there's a reason why the 4 singles from this album are called the Golden Quartet, because that hit rate is just so good. But then of course we have the album tracks as well. This album is the first instance of Kylie actually having writing credits on her music. The previous 2 albums had none at all. But on this one she co-wrote 4 out of 11 tracks, as well as 1 track that didn't make the cut as well. And she also worked away from Stock Aitken Waterman for the first time, who had previously done all of her work up until that point. First up we have Secrets, which is actually, on surface level, is very similar to, you know, her previous work, but the lyrics are a lot more mature. She's confessing to cheating on her man, which is something that 80s Kylie would have never done, God forbid. Again, on the phone to Ofcom. This is just unacceptable. Then you have Always Find the Time, which is a nice little sunny bop with a key change chorus as well, which I love. It feels very sort of girly and carefree, very young. And she has The World Still Turns, which is a song about finally coming to terms and finding peace with a breakup. I really like The World Still Turns. I think the lyrics are very mature, very reflective. When you're young and you're in love and you've broken up with somebody or you've got unrequited feelings for somebody, it could feel like the end of the world. But then The World Still Turns talks about how, well, actually, no, it's not the end. And time does make things better. And now I can continue to live my life. I would actually like to hear her sing this song live now, considering she has, you know, had quite a few breakups. I reckon a more experienced Kylie could probably do that song justice now. So Kylie, if you're watching, you know what to do. Then, coming up to the latter half of the album, we've got Things Can Only Get Better, which is another absolute mega bop, Chef's Kiss. Even though I love the 4 singles from Rhythm of Love, I think a 5th one would have been just as good, because Things Can Only Get Better, ironically, doesn't get better than that. It's a motivational bop about making the best out of your bad situations and not letting it get you down. She sings about taking control of your destiny, much like Tyra Banks shouted at us all to do that one time. Tiffany obviously didn't listen to Things Can Only Get Better, because Tyra wouldn't have screamed at her the way she did. It's a song that when I've been feeling pretty hopeless and pretty down, I've listened to it and it's helped me, you know, get back up there and face the world again. Things Can Only Get Better would have absolutely been a perfect single choice, I think. So it's kind of a shame, really, that it didn't get its moment to shine, but it is pop perfection. In a word, it is. And then the last 3 tracks on the album are tracks that Kylie herself co-wrote. We have Count the Days, which is, it's alright. Count the Days is not bad. Count the Days isn't bad at all. It's just kind of unremarkable, I think. And then we have the title track as well, Rhythm of Love, which it's a song that for some reason I've never just really been able to get into, and I don't know why, because whenever I listen to it, I think, actually the song's really good, I like it. But I just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't click with me. Don't know why. We also have I Am the One for You, which is the first song that Kylie wrote for herself, according to Wikipedia. And this song was left off the album, and it wasn't actually a B-side either. It got released 8 years later on a Japanese-only remix album, and then eventually it got released worldwide when Kylie's music went digital in 2009. So I Am the One for You is a very obscure track. It's decent though, it's fun. It's very early 90s. I would probably actually replace Count the Days with I Am the One for You myself. I saved a specific track for last, which is One Boy Girl. Now, One Boy Girl, where do I even begin with One Boy Girl? I could do a whole entire video about One Boy Girl, probably, about how iconic. I could do a whole video, probably, about my feelings on One Boy Girl. It's an experience. Starting with the positives, I think the instrumental's really good. Again, it's early 90s funk. It sounds a bit like it could be in the game Streets of Rage, which is a huge compliment for me because I love that game and I love its soundtrack. It's a bop in that respect. And another positive is that, of course, Kylie wrote this one herself as well. So props to her for that, which she wasn't known for that. But then when you look at the lyrics, you sort of wonder, well, I personally myself probably wouldn't claim to have written that. The lyrics are a little bit, So, One Boy Girl is about how she is committed to her boyfriend and she doesn't want to sleep around. She doesn't want to cheat on him. She's not interested in anybody else. She's just happy with her boyfriend. Fair enough, you know, monogamy, if it's what you want, that's what you want. What makes the lyrics of the song kind of cringe a bit is the call and response in the verses. So she's got like her backing vocalists questioning her commitment to this man and like accusing him of cheating on her like before he even has. To which Kylie obviously responds with, no, you can't tell me nothing. It's just very, I don't know. But then, the cherry on top of this bizarre cake is the rap. Not by Jazzy P this time, but by the poetess, who I have to confess I've not heard of. Back and forth rap between Kylie and the poetess herself, where again it's basically takes on the same theme. You know, why are you with this guy? I mean, the rap begins with, "Hey yo Kylie, what's up with this one boy girl thing?" I mean, do I need to say more? No, I'm not going to do the rap for you. Am I going to do the rap for you? No, I'm not going to do it. So One Boy Girl for me is a real interesting song because it's like kind of awful, but I also kind of love it, and it does kind of slap. I mean, it's like, yes, come on Kylie with that slut-shaming bop. I don't condone slut-shaming. Do what you want. Kylie coming through with a slut-shaming bop in 1990. That song probably wouldn't do well today, would it? That's actually it for the music on Rhythm of Love. It's just the 11 tracks plus I Am the One for You. There were no B-sides this time around that weren't available on any other album. But with the album's 11 tracks, there is plenty to enjoy. Touched upon it already, it's an album that showed Kylie going in a new direction, a new, mature, refined direction, and it's very important album in Kylie's career. So, in conclusion, Rhythm of Love is yes. So, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I've been ElliXia Valentine, and wait, what's that? What's that? You want me to do... Sorry, am I hearing this correctly? You want me to do the rap in One Boy Girl? Oh, stop it. No. So embarrassing. Oh, I can't do it. Hey, yo, Kylie, what's up with this one boy girl thing? Well, let me break it down like this. Yeah, right. It doesn't pay to stay or be good. You know how guys are. I don't think he could be with just one. And what if he cheats you? Girl, just have fun. Go out and meet you. 2 or 3 more. I don't think so. You should see him or no, I don't think so. How could you be sure I'll believe him? You're in for heartbreak. You don't need him. What if he hurts you? He won't do that. Are you sure? Yeah, that's a fact. There's lots of guys in this world. Not for me. I'm a one boy girl. Are you happy now? I am. I love that. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. I've been ElliXia Valentine as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, do what you gotta do. Follow me on the socials, ElliXia Q Valentine, both on Facebook and Instagram, and then just ElliXia Q on Twitter. You can catch up on the previous videos on my channel as well. And tune in next week when we will be discussing the 4th album, Let's Get To It. Once again, I've been ElliXia Valentine, and please book me. Thank you. Mwah. Hey, yo, Kylie.